Hello. How are we? Do you remember 21st night of September? Welcome to the grand final eve stream. How are we all doing? Who is here? What up, Chills? Good to see you. Always in the stream. So what up, Marty? Josh? How are we all doing? Grand final eve, and we're not a part of it. Well, we are, but we're not. Josh Blody, Robbie, Chris, Annette, Bevilacqua, Bailey, we need to talk. We've got to get a compilation together. That's just reminded me. How are we all doing today? What's the story? I'm good. Dr. Banter, Luca. Yeah, going well. Nice and relaxed. Kind of wish that we were playing tomorrow, obviously, but not to be. How are you guys? How have you settled into the rest of the season after last week? Probably took me till Wednesday, to be honest, to really settle down and take a breath. Luca, hello, mate. Craig, you know what I want to do? I really want to have a pretty open and chilled stream today. Not too long. You can play some games and whatever. But if anybody wants to join, come and say hello. I'm going to put a link in the chat. Talk about, I don't know, whatever you want. Yeah, Bailey, we need a season-long compilation. I feel like this year's one's going to be a lot longer than usual, but we'll chat afterwards if you're available. Chris, did I hear Robbie would have performed if Carlton made the granny? I did. Yeah, I thought that was already announced. I didn't realize it was based on if Carlton made the grand final. So that's a bit of a shame. That's a what could have been, you know? It would have been a lot of fun too. Tiger Air, go the Pies. Yeah. I'm sure we all do, have a lot of Collingwood mates. So I've got a good contingent, caught up with one this morning. Yeah. Whatever. May the best team win. I think there's a funny little story. I mean, if they win the flag tomorrow, the Pies, then that would mean Collingwood, Essendon, and Carlton all sit on 16 premierships. So I actually think Collingwood will win personally. That would be my guess. I think they'll win. I think if Brisbane win, it'll be a great story as well. I don't know. I just feel like you just got to get there. Do your best to get there and give yourself a chance, and then anything can happen. But I think if Collingwood win it, I mean, they've been the best team all year. I feel like Collingwood is the team that has the most or the best connection on field with each other. And I feel like the Brisbane Lions have the better structured team and the better balanced team. So whatever. It is what it is. Ur, good morning. Good to see you, my friend. Bailey, absolutely. And the ending shall be a bit better than usual. So for those who don't know, we do the yearly compilation of the Blue Broad YouTube channel. And Bailey puts it together every year. Bailey, I feel like you've done it every year since 2019, I'm going to say. Definitely 2020. But yeah, we're looking forward to that. It's going to be a long compilation. So looking forward to that. Jess Goats, hello. Good to see you. Global, what are my thoughts on the trades that are rumored to be happening? You mean for Carlton? I don't know of too many. I know Dow and Fisher are kind of at the top of the conversation. Fisher's contracted, so that would need to be a trade for maybe picks or player if it was to happen. Been looking into Elijah Holland a little bit more now that that talk's starting to ramp up. It might be a situation where we, in a roundabout way, try and get through, replace Fisher with Holland. I don't know. How do I feel about it? I mean, I think I said this in my review, and I've said it the last few weeks. There's just a layer of trust with whoever's here. So, I've got that level. And let's be honest, the off-season recruiting, I think now we can say for the last couple of years has been pretty good. Like we've done pretty well. Akers bringing him in has been a big tick for us, no doubt about that. I think Hewitt, Chera the year before, big tick. So I don't know. I think we're in good. I think we're in good shape. What about you? How do you feel about it? Tiger Air, respect for not being a flog for a Carlton fan, mate. We're not all flogs. I think every supporter base has them. What's the worst? When people paint an entire supporter base based off a couple. I think it's just the worst. Yeah. He will be there next year, I'm sure of that. Go Blues and Robbie. Yes, Robbie Williams, indeed. Luke is moving to China. If Collingwood win the flag. Yeah, it's going to be a bit like that. But you know what? What if they win their 16th, tie it up, and then next year we go ahead again? Would you take that deal? Johnny Holden, great catching up. Yeah, it was. It was good. It was good. I know we lost, but I actually had the time of my life. I think it was even just to get that experience of a prelim and see how they fare against the best of the best. And I think if Brisbane do win the flag, it looks a lot better for us as well. So we'll see how it plays out. Jai, Crozier, and E. Holland's coming to Carlton, apparently. Yeah, I read these reports with a grain of salt. I feel like Hollands is a bit more. We could use Hollands because he's got that strength about him and he's very young. Had a great grand final in the VFL this year. I think he had like 30 touches in the grand final, played a really strong game. So these are things that we need. I was saying this yesterday. I feel like there's a piece in our half forward line that can be added or that can be improved. Now, whether that's just get a full preseason into Cunners and then Cunners is the guy, or get another piece. I feel like another piece would be good just for the depth because we know what happens during the season and there's injuries and you've got to have cover for that. So, no, but we'll cover it. Had a good chat to Pommy yesterday as well about it. So we'll have lots to talk about. Also, by the way, if there's anyone that's watching right now that ordered a pin and has not received a pin yet, let me know so I can check. If you want to grab your pins, I might put a link up for you. I won't lick envelopes this morning, but I will sort your pin out and I'll print your label and do it right here, right now. Just let me know if there's any issues with that. I know I had 95% of people have received theirs, so it's fine. But I know a few people who still haven't received theirs for whatever reason. So if you want your pin, that's the link right there. Wait, let me be a pin. You remember. Also, I feel like we should absolutely play a game of footy grid just because it's so much fun. And I'm looking forward to off season. We'll do a lot more. I'll do a lot more streaming, whether it's during the day or even in the evening. A lot more fun. I've got some games and some trivia stuff to do. So we'll make sure that we're not completely bored in the off season. Mate, I'm fantastic. How are you? Jacob, Dad's a Pies fan, been playing song all morning. Yeah, I know. It's a bit like that. I actually do expect Collingwood to win tomorrow. I think the pain of 2018, I wonder how much that motivates them. And I've heard them talk about the redemption for 2018. So I'm curious, are they motivated by the fear of the failure, or are they motivated by what's in front of them? So let's see. Hey, Amy, feeling a little flat with this glorious weather, thinking about what could have been. I know, as you keep saying, it's just the beginning. Yeah, no doubt. What up, Daryl, Jai, Luca? I think anyone on the list wants to trade out. Even anyone you think should leave. So this is where I'm coming from. Take Dow and Fisher, for example. Okay, Dow's out of contract. He may have an offer for, let's say, 1 year from what they're reporting, and maybe have an offer for 2 or 3 elsewhere. I just feel like if you're playing for premierships and you're playing football and you're playing to win, I think Carlton is the place to be. You want to be on the list. You want to give yourself the best chance to play in these big games. So I'd be fascinated if anyone openly wanted to leave, but also I don't know what they're motivated by, you know? Peter V, Blue Bagger. What up, mate? Faz, mate. That's a humbling comment. Jump on and come and say good day. Let's have a chat. I think you also have been a big part of the positive energy that's coming through. Madison just touched on that. Played footy good in the car on the way back home from Brizzy. It was awesome. Really passed the time away. Yeah, you know what? We'll get a game going. We'll get a game. Just a quick few hellos. So crazy, bro. Will there be any fan camp type things during the off season? No. I would love it. I've got a lot more time and a lot more just mental space week to week. The season gets hectic. Not gonna lie. Like, I'm not complaining. I love it, but the reality is, like, it's a lot. So I think after the losing streak, I even went into my shell a little bit and just didn't do too much more creative and collaborative. But this off season is going to be very different because I'm excited by the off season because of what we can do next year and how close I think we are. So yeah, a lot more streaming, a lot more interaction stuff. I mean, as long as you guys are happy with it, if you guys enjoy just coming here and hanging out, then I'm down. We can do it nightly. We can do it during the day. I think especially during school holidays. Suggestion. This is the time for suggestions now that I can actually activate. But yeah, go the Lions. You'd be silly to want out now. It's true. Yeah, I think the Fisher thing gained legs from mainstream, and I think everyone's just kind of jumped on it. But we'll see. Ur with the 80. Thank you, my friend. Super kind. Super kind. Madison, the Jordan pick in the background. Yeah. So this right here is the setup. This is me at my core. Played basketball growing up. Jordan is my idol. And then obviously the Blues. So these are the two pillars of me. So it just makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So let's have a look. Hey, let's play a little game. Why not? Let's play a little game. Is it Footy Grid or is it Gridley? I think it's Footy Grid that we want. Ooh. All right. Hey, this is tough. Do you want to play it anyway? Like, it's tough. But we have John Holden in the house, so we're in good hands. Let me just share my screen here. Let's have a look. All right. This is very difficult. Yeah, Amy. Johnny's here. We're in good hands. Taller than 195 centimeters and played for Freo. I've got one. He also played for Carlton, Robbie Warnock. I feel like that's the move. I feel like that's absolutely the move, Robbie Warnock. Yeah. All right. There's my contribution for the day. Let's do taller than 195 centimeters and played at least one game for the Melbourne Football Club. What was the name of the ruckman that played? I feel like his name was White, Jeff White, Matthew White. It was a White, no doubt. I think his name was Jeff Steins. True. Ben Brown. That's not a bad shout. Marty. It was Jeff White. Yeah, I feel like he was number 24. I think I'm gonna roll with it. Give you guys a few minutes. Unless there's an older player from back in the 80s or the 70s that we can put in here. Harry Petty, is he over 195? Yeah, he's a big boy. Mitch Clark. Oh, that's a good call. That is a good call, but I don't know if is Mitch Clark over 195. Peter Moore, is that Darcy's dad? Did he play for Melbourne? No, I think Jeff White. No, Jeff White was a ruckman. I think you might be thinking of Jeff Farmer. Stephen O'Dwyer. That's what we're looking for right here. Stephen O'Dwyer. Ooh, that doesn't exist. Oh, okay. Oh, Stephen O'Dwyer. I mean, it's a very random name. That's the kind of name we're looking for. Perfect. We'll take that. So now we want taller than 195 and a multi-club player. Oh, probably could have put Robbie Warnock here. All right. Multi-club player. Automatic Nokia. Mitch Clark was 200. Well, Mitch Clark played for two clubs, right? Mitch Clark played for Geelong. He played for Brisbane and played for the D's. Peter Moore, Collingwood, Melbourne. Well, let's put him. Yeah, Peter Moore, multi-club player. Let's have a look. I like it. Ooh, hang on. Zach Stefan? Is this? I don't know who this is. Luca, can I trust you with Zach Stefan? Tell me who he played for. Justin Madden. I'm down with Clark, Madden. I think I like Peter Moore here as well. Wait, who is Zach Stefan? Zach Stefan doesn't exist. What are you doing, bro? But did he play a game is the question. So the rules say that he has to have played a game. Zach Smith? Oh, you're talking about Zach Smith, I think. Geelong and Gold Coast. Oh, James Podsiadly. Good call. Was he taller than 195? There we go. This is the one. We got the cheat code. On Ironmonger. Bang. Oh, I love this game. I love this game when John Holden's in the house. That's why I love this game. That's very rare. All right. So let's do someone who averaged at least one goal in a season and played at least one game for Fremantle. Averaged a goal in a season and played for Freo. Averaged a goal. So I'm thinking, I'm trying to go back. I feel like Chris Main might have averaged a goal in a season for Fremantle when they went on that run in or about 2008. I remember him as a forward. Modra, Farmer, Waterhouse. So these are popular names. So we want unique names. That's what we really want. So let's have a look. I'm gonna put up Chris Main as a suggestion. Banfield. Did Banfield average a goal a season though? That's the question. That's what we're looking for. Um, I reckon it's Chris Main. I reckon it's Chris Main. I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna roll with it. Sandilands. Don't know if he averaged a goal in a season. Bang, Chris Main. Okay, I'll take that. Take that. I remember he was a great set shot one year. He just barely missed. Okay, let's do it again. Averaged one goal in any season and played at least one game for the D's. Random. At least one goal for a season and played for the D's. I don't know if Jeff Garlett averaged a goal in a season. Gary Lyon for sure. Russell Robertson, Green, Bruce. Yeah, these are all the big dogs. There's got to be like a random. It's got to be a random. Mitch Clark. I don't know if he average a goal though. Surely he averaged a goal in a season for the D's. I don't know if he ever had a. I don't remember. That's what we're looking for. Brandon Bevilacqua, Alan Jakovic. So, Brandon, I back you in. Oof. Oh, sorry, Alan Jakovic. All right. Okay. Jesse Hogan, Brian Wilson. Oh, these are very good names. Okay. I think I'm going to roll with Jakovic. That's very random. Bang. Happy with that. Okay. So now we're going to do it again. Averaged one goal in a season and was a multi-club player. Mitch Clark could be the move here. Mitch Clark, let's do it. Oh, guys, that is sensational. That is sensational stuff right there. Yeah, you can't get Mitch Clark again. So now it's modern. These are very modern now. A teammate of Luke Jackson that played at least one game for Freo. So is this Luke Jackson's first year at Fremantle? I think it is. So who's the most random player to play for Fremantle this year? It's like Ethan Hughes or one of these types. Um, um, hmm. Who's the small? There's a smaller guys, not Schultz, played towards the end. Like, not Jai Amos. There's like a random Casbolt. Well, I don't think Casbolt played with Luke Jackson. So this equalizes it. It comes to everyone. There's a guy I'm thinking of for Fremantle. I remember I had him in my draft stars team. A smaller guy, I think it was. I think he was like a forward pocket. Um, there's also the halfback flanker, Liam Reedy. Oh, yeah. Did he play a game? I don't know that name. I don't know that name at all. Liam Reedy. Oh, what was the name of the guy? What was the name of the guy? Heath Chapman. Not a bad shout, that one. Not a bad shout. Let's roll with it. John Cena. Oh, wow. Who was that? Jimos. Kudos to you, mate. Very good. All right. Luke Jackson, teammate that played at least one game for the Melbourne Football Club. So now we can go back to his draft year, right? We can go back to his draft year. The best is, well, we need Tony. We do have we do have Johnny Holden here, which holds us in very good stead. So Melbourne. Was Sam Wiedemann ever a teammate? Yeah, so Hayden Young didn't play for the D's. So now we need someone that plays for the D's. Sparrow, Young. What was the name of the guy that played for Essendon? I feel like he was a top-up player. Like a defender. He played for the D's after the Bombers. So Clive might have played for Melbourne, but he never was a teammate of Luke Jackson. Not Jake Bowie, Mitch Brown. Mitch Brown, the one that played. Wait, let's just confirm this. Mitch Brown, have I got the guy that played? Mitch Brown, he played for Essendon. He was a top-up player. And then he played for the D's a couple of years ago. Luke Jackson might have been a younger, like in his first couple of years. Am I thinking of the right guy? Mitch Brown? Like defender, veteran. Is that making sense to anyone? Let me just look here. Yeah, this guy. Oh, hang on. There's a couple. Oh, I'm sure it's this guy. Bang. Got it. Got it. Essendon and Melbourne. Probably could have put him in this picture. So now I'm screwed. But this is looking good. Okay. This is looking good. Now we need a player that played with Luke Jackson for at least a game and was a multi-club player. So we got to go. Oof. Tell you what. Jordan Lewis. Yeah, Jordan Lewis. Luke Jackson. Who was at Melbourne at the start? Because I feel like Luke Jackson would have taken a ruckman away from the list. Who was on Melbourne's list as a veteran when Luke Jackson was there? They would have had to have moved on a ruckman. Who was there? Oh, it's Braden Preuss. I'm going to put up Braden Preuss. Robbie, 11-month membership. Love your work, mate. Luke Dunstan, good shout. Luke Dunstan, that is actually a very good shout. But did he play with Jackson? Because he struggled to get a game. I think I'm going to go with Preuss. What do you guys think? Cruz. Lewis wasn't there with Jackson. Okay. Oh my god, I got it wrong. Are you kidding? What? Really? Oh, Melksham. Disaster. You kidding? Is that right? There you go. There you go. Can we do that again? Wait. Footy grid. I want to know what it looks like. Oh, it's saved. I'm out. Oh well. Not the worst. We were actually on track for a great score. Wiedemann was also a good one. Should have waited. Yeah. Should have waited. Anyway. All right. So this week I'm going to do. I've got my note. This week I'm going to film a couple of videos, and I wanted to get some of your thoughts on some things. What was the best home and away performance? Start there. What was your best home and away performance of the year? What do you think? Where did we look at our best? I said Port Adelaide in the season review, but I want to rank the wins. So for those of you at home, what was the best performance? And therefore kind of like the best 22 that we selected. So I'm going to go to Port. I'm going to show you this. So I was looking at I think it was like around 17-ish. Where was it? Nope. 16. No, it was after Hawthorn. Here. Look at the 22 here. Let's just have a look. It's actually it's a very similar 22. Who's missing? Sam Walsh is missing. No, he's here. Yes, Jack. Love a random stream. Suns at the MCG. For me, this was the win where I said, "Oh, okay, this something's happening." We were at our best when Walshy got injured. Well, that was West Coast. I also, yeah. Worst was Adelaide and Gather Round. Yeah. Chris. Suns at the MCG. Let's have a look at the Suns at the MCG. That was here. No. 13, 14. No, round 13 was Essendon. That was definitely not it. It was, okay. Look at the lineups. Let's have a look. Yeah, wow. Okay. Wiedering, Camp Newman, McGovern, Boyd, Sard. They loved Boyd, didn't they? They really did. I didn't come on to the Boyd train until the end. Chincotta, always Kennedy. De Koning. So Jack Silvani didn't play this game. I don't think we have a set rule for our 22 when it comes to the ruckman. That's what I took out of this year as well. There are some games and there are some times where I think we need them both. There are some times where I think we just need one. And I think, and I think there are times where I feel like Pito's just like helping De until De ready to take the step. Harry slash Josh thinks that we picked the wrong team against Brisbane. Why do we drop Owies? Yeah. Who would you have had instead? So would you have had no Motlop and then drop Owies? Is that what you're saying? What was the alternative? Yeah, this was a poor first quarter, but I feel like we had a few scoring shots. Yeah. I'm with you on Boyd. That really stopped his momentum. Mm. We never took full advantage when we had our full list. Well, I think once we finally got the full list, we just started getting injuries. I mean, I personally think we did take advantage when we had our full list. I think for the most part, we had the full list when it mattered. I know Harry was missing for a chunk of the end, but we were still winning games. And then the timing probably wasn't right. He wasn't at his best towards the very end. But you can't get them all perfect. You just can't. It's very hard. Yeah, I think they complement each other. I feel like once De Koning gets big enough and strong enough to last long enough in a season, it's a long season, and Ruckman cop a battering. And if you remember, go back to when we had Cruiser. We were playing him straight in, number one Ruckman from the beginning. And really, we chipped away at him. His body just broke down. And I feel like I don't know if that's a thinking on the inside of the club, but I feel like that's got something to do with it. You can't just throw De Koning in there and let him go. Like, you need some muscle in there to help lessen the load. But I'm curious how that dynamic changes as the years go on. Like, does De Koning just become the Ruckman with this is the issue? Is Jack Silvani really a Ruckman? I think he's a good pinch hit, but I don't know if he's good there. Yeah. Yeah, Motlop was good the week before. I thought Motlop earned his spot in the prelim. So I know it's easy to say drop Owies, but I think Motlop definitely earned his spot. I would have loved to have seen Sauce as well in there because I think when it came to the prelim, it didn't become about speed. It became about cleanliness. So I don't know. Yeah, he just didn't get selected. I feel like he also missed a chunk of footy, and he's not a player that I don't know if he's a player that can come straight into a side and have the impact that we know he can have. He's a player that has continuity. I mean, we'll never know. We'll never know. Yeah, I agree with this. I don't think it mattered too much about these two. Kennedy as the sub was a terrible idea. Well, Harry, what was the alternative? Are you saying Sauce the sub, Cunners the sub? What would you have done? It's all good to say something was wrong, but like, what's the alternative, mate? Yeah, got to blood these types. I mean, if you think about it now, moving forward, all of a sudden there's trust in Chincotta, trust in Fogarty, and trust in the bodies of Cunners and Marchbank, who not many people believed in because they weren't available. But now we've got those four in particular who, moving forward, you add Jordan Boyd in there. Now all of a sudden the list is a little bit more deep. And so if we add a piece in there, or if we stay healthy, and if we need to bring them in, we know that they can do a job because they've played in big finals now. Collingwood, no Boyd, no Walsh. Chera injured before halftime. No Harry, no Sauce, no Pito. Well, let's have a look at that. Yeah, what was our best 22? Which game did we play our best 22? Round 20 was Collingwood. Yeah, wow. Okay. I will say our back line was pretty, touch wood, pretty healthy. Yep. I like this. Harry didn't play in this game. That might have been our best win. Yeah. I think, yeah, that was our best win. Beat the Pies, mate. Why would we drop Kemp and keep Chincotta when Chincotta has been inconsistent? I don't know about that. Really? I think Chincotta plays a different role to Kemp. One, more lockdown. I feel like it was Kemp or Marchbank, and they went with Marchbank. That's how I saw it. Ed Kerno would have been a better sub choice for experience than Matt Kennedy. Kennedy did nothing. Fair. Trust the process. This is where I think we can get a little something next year. Jack Carroll's got that decision making and that poise with ball in hand. The game slows down. He's a thinker. He thinks his way through situations. So if he just gets himself into a really good groove with his off season, he might be a bit of a missing piece. Because Kennedy, for me, I'm with you, Josh. Kennedy, I think, is one too many of them. And I think if Jack Carroll was ready to play and ready to impact, he brings a different dynamic because he's not just a crash and bash bull. He is an inside midfielder. Eventually he will be. So he can win a bit of the hard ball, but he's also got this poise and composure about him. And then Binns, I don't know. I mean, he had a good year, just couldn't get into the side. Like, you can't drop Akers. I think Cottrell became undroppable, and then Hollands was obviously there as well. Then they started playing Doc on the wing. I think the curious one, and I know people talk about Dow and Fisher, but Lockie O'Brien, he's contracted. I think if you look at the pecking order right now, I think he's fallen behind the wingers that have come in. I mean, you got Hollands that's come in as a first-year player and essentially taken his spot. Then you've got the Campriali boys, coming next year. So I'm curious about the Lockie O'Brien situation. First time in 20 years. We had 26 players. Yeah, it's a good point. Not 17 players, and who do we fill the team? It's actual depth. Yeah, I think he just proved his worth, and get a full preseason into him now. I think we're in good shape. Yeah, key forward that's kicked a bag in. Well, no, I was talking about the prelim and the granny, because I know Buddy I think he kicked 8 against the Dogs in 08. I remember him playing on Brian Lake and just absolutely toweling him up. But what my question was the big forwards in the prelim and the granny. So Charlie Cameron is not a big forward, because the conversations was around Charlie Curnow. So the question was, which tall key forward, has kicked a bag in a prelim or a granny? That was the question. I think Hawkins kicked 3 in a granny. I think Cloak, Travis, kicked 3 in a granny. So yeah, that was the question. But I think the point was, not many do. Not many do. I think in this modern era, it just gets so difficult, it seems, for the key forwards to dominate the same way they do in the season. So Sammy Walsh with the preseason going to be deadly. Yeah. Did you guys see the photo of Sam Walsh? I think I posted it on my Instagram. The photo of Sam Walsh just sort of sitting there, just absorbing it. Like, you can tell that he had that pain in his face. Peter, I think this is a really good point, and I think this is something that cost us in the end, because we weren't able to get real games into some of these players who could have played. Jack Silvani potentially comes up in conversation. You never know if we stay in. And the reason why I say if is because we were so close. They muffed it at the end, that 100-point belting to Gold Coast. And they had a bit of momentum to the VFL. They were playing okay. And we had players performing well. And I feel like that hurt us. And I think it also goes to show how many elements need to be in place for a season to work. So it's a good point. I'm going to open this up to everyone. What do we need to do to improve against the big teams like Brisbane? Well, let's unpack it again. What beat us in the end? I think Brisbane were harder for longer. I think they had the experience under pressure. I think they didn't panic under pressure. I think it's too simple for me to say it's just experience. I think it's a big factor. Well, let's start with make the top 4. So, but what do you guys think? What do we need to do to improve against the big teams like Brisbane? At the end of the year, I felt like we beat Collingwood, and I would be confident going into a game against Collingwood. But the Lions is a team we just haven't been able to get a hold of. They're now one of the few that have had us for a while, and we haven't been able to beat them. So they're the one that's left, I would say. Composure, foot skills. Yeah, the foot skills. Yeah. I think we rely a lot on our heart and resilience, and sometimes it's not enough. You've got to be able to manufacture goals really easy. Like look at the Lions, the way that they were able to get some of their shots on goal off transition. It opens up the game, and it looked easy for us early in the game, but then as the game wore on, it just got harder and harder. Half forwards need to be better. I think so too. We need another conduit besides Jack Martin. Yep. It was a shame that Cunners just dropped off with his form towards the end, because I felt like in our run at the start, especially, Cunners was the guy that was getting the score involvements, the pressure was up, and then he kind of fell away. And I'm curious as to whether that is because of a lack of full preseason. I think that might have something to do with it. I think midway point in the year, we're not even talking about Cunners because he just wasn't available, had another setback. So that's where I don't want to panic and just trade players and bring in half forwards when, like, what if we have them on the list? And then that poses another question. Off field, who are some names that you can bring in? Hey, Josh, off field, I've got a couple. Well, one on field / off field. So Vossi's got good relationships at Port. Surely we can jag a couple of people from there. I was thinking of the following. So Ed Kerno is gone. And I was talking about this yesterday with Pommy. Ed Kerno's gone. He's the battering ram at training. He's the elder statesman at training. What if we offered someone like a Travis Boak? I don't know if he's interested in coaching. I think he would be. What if we offered Boak a year and then a coaching gig afterwards to keep him at the club? Because I know he's the ultimate professional. Not saying he would play many games next year, but to have that experience on the list, to work with guys like Dave Cunningham, who like Boak started his career a little bit on in that half forward, and then he moved to the midfield pretty quickly. I love Boak as an idea. And then I'm not trying to kill Bambi, but get Nick Nat in. Nick Nat, bring him in. Let him be the ruck coach for Tom De Koning. I think Tom has traits of Nick Nat. No, not Sam Palpepper. Although he's a demon. I like him. We can clone Mark Murphy or Ryan Houlihan. Yeah, that's exactly right. Bring a player like Jack Darling. Oh, yeah. Okay. I see where you're going there. He would need to be willing to take a bit of a backward step, and I don't know if he would be willing to do that. But I get what you're saying. I don't mind it. Harry, imagine we still had Josh Kennedy. Yeah, it's the big what if. A mature age small forward. Don't mind that. So you've got Owies, Durden, Motlop, and then is Josh Honey? Is Josh Honey really a small forward? I don't quite know what he is. I don't know where he's going to go. Favola as a forward coach, I don't know. I think I don't understand this personally, but fair enough, Josh. We should take Fremantle players. That seems to work out pretty well for us. Liam Ryan. Oh yeah. Who are the recent premiership teams that we could take some experience from? I've always been a fan of Jamie Cripps, but I feel like we've missed the boat. I think he's a little bit older. But on the other end, we're in the window. So would you take an older player if you knew he was going to play and help you in a prelim like we had we played against the Lions? It's interesting. Love to see track in navy blue for some more explosiveness at half forward, though. Yeah, I mean see for me the ideal half forward player is like Errol Goulden, Zach Butters, Petrarca, but like it's just not feasible. Yeah, yeah, Josh, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think especially, well, where were you, Josh? What were you thinking at the end of round 13? Like, did we all believe it was dead and buried? I feel like we were all on the same page there. And I think there's just a few bit of tinkerings to do to get to the next level next year. Hey, I don't mind this. Frederick. Bit slight. Could put some size on, but he's got some really good attributes. Yeah. Let's do success breeds success. Having a current grand final player would be ideal to show. Yeah, I think so. I'm all for those who can contribute in the locker room, and that is the part where Ed Kerno, I think, because we don't see everything every day, I think that's the part that Ed Kerno was very important for the group. So now you've got, who's the oldest player on the list now? Is it Cripps? Is it Doherty? So these guys, I just think the locker room guy like Ed Kerno has to be replaced. Might not play every week, but if he needs to play, can do a role. And this is also a very important point. Who would be worth disrupting the chemistry being built in each line right now? Yeah. Oh, and Sard. Yes. Sard, Doherty are our oldest players now. Wow. Don't mind this. I was curious why we didn't do this from the outset. So, forward depth. Harry Lemmy's probably not ready just yet, but I feel like he's one worth persisting. That Hudson O'Keefe, I wonder if he could do a little something in the next few years. With you on this 100%. Keep him at the club. Let him play in the VFL. Newman as well. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's look at the West Coast list. Let's look at the West Coast list right now. Oh, this is great. West Coast playing list. So we're saying, can you guys see that? Wait, let me lock in a bit. Let me zoom in because that's very hard to read, I think, for me as well. Is that better? Yeah. So 2023 games, goals, votes. So did Liam Ryan only play 3 games this year? Wow. Okay, so their age is here as well. I feel like you want someone that's like, I mean, ideally 27 to 30 if it's that premiership experience, maybe 31. Gaff, I don't think so. Who's actually feasible from here? Elliot Yeo, maybe. Nick Nat's done. Wow, Samo. Would you guys take Samo back? Bargain basement deal, VFL, rookie listed player. Would you take Samo back? This guy's a star. Jamie Cripps. Okay. Would you take Jamie Cripps until he's 32 for say a 2-year deal? I think he's a really smart forward, half forward, and I really wanted him a few years ago. I don't know if it's too late, but I think this would be a really big help for guys like Cunningham, guys like Martin, these half forward types. Because he can kick. How many goals did he kick this year? 16 from 12 games. So he averages over a goal a game. I like him. I always have. Jeremy McGovern. Nah. Okay, so Jack Darling played 20 games, kicked 26 goals. He's 30. Okay. Okay. Tom Cole. Jack Williams, Josh Rotham. No, I don't know. I don't know if any of these guys. So really, who are the play? Like, really, I think Jamie Cripps. We mentioned Jack Darling. I actually thought Jamie Cripps was older than that. So he's turning 31 next year, mate. It's not too late. It's not too late. I think we could do it. So obviously we wouldn't be paying a lot. He wouldn't be on a massive contract. But grand final experience, half forward, lowers his eyes, he tackles. I'm a big fan. Let's have a look at any other lists. What were the other lists that you guys mentioned? So premiership, former premiership players. So I think of Richmond. Single year for Cripps. I would do a single year for Jamie Cripps 100% and just see what happens. I would absolutely do that. So Richmond. Oh, Flostone, star. I'll do the Dogs next. Oh, Cripps is contracted. Oh, okay. Oh, well, that just removes everything. I was getting excited. Okay. Who from Richmond? That's actually viable here. I haven't really seen anyone yet. Jack Graham? Nah. Is he only 25? What? I thought Jack Graham was like 28, 29. They don't really have too many of their old school premiership players. Who was the other one you guys said? The Dogs? I don't know if there's anyone from the Dogs that. Oh, yeah? Wait. I actually want to look at our list in a minute because it gives really good data on this website. Graham's contracted. Geelong. Average age 25. Okay. So we want like experienced players. I mean, I don't know if Isaac Smith would come to the Blues for a year. Nah. See, their list has transitioned a bit. Menegola retired, right? That's a bit early. His body let him down a little bit. That's the truth. Don't know if there's anyone here. Nah. I want to look at our list. Average 62.1 games, so 13th for the year. Wow. For experience. Average age 24.6. So yeah, right in the beginning of that window. This needs to improve. Look at this. There you go. Right there. Average 26.9 career goals, ranked 18th for the year. There you go. We are the bottom ranked team for average career goals. So I think the other part as well, Cripps didn't kick his 20 goals this year like he did last year. So we need to get more goals from that midfield. But let's have a look. Hey, Paddy Dow played 10 games this year. That's a pretty solid effort in the end. Jesse kicked the 24. This is the one that really hurts us. Let's be honest about it. No, he's injured, but Harry kicking 29 goals. And I don't just rate Harry's game on the goals he kicks. And I think that is unfair because he does take marks around the ground. However, I think it's fair and reasonable based off what Harry's capable of to say that we need at least 40 to 45 goals a year from Harry. And I think that is fair and reasonable. I know he plays a role. Charlie's in the team, so he's not going to kick as many as he did in the Coleman medal year. But I think 29 goals is just a little lean for what we need from Harry. And I would expect that to be closer to 50 goals next year because I think he's capable. And just like that, I've just found 20 goals there. So that's a potential improvement there. Jesse kicking 24 for the year. I'll give that a tick. If that can become 30, then we're in good shape. I'm going to go through the Brisbane list in a minute and you'll see the goals that they kicked. But let's have a look. Chera, 22 games, 9 goals. Not bad. This is our big wild card next year for me. So he's just turned 28 in the prime of his career. Played plenty of games. Yeah. Zach Williams. Kennedy. Fogarty only kicked 4 goals. I feel like, yeah, okay. Yeah, see, Cripps kicked 9 for the year, including 2 at the very end in the prelim. Feel like we can get 10 to 15 a year from Cripps. Bit of improvement there. De Koning, can he get to 10 to 15? Good point here. Freeland dominate. Geelong 22. Hawkins and Cameron both combined for 120. And Stengel kicked over 50. So what did Charlie kick in the end? Charlie kicked 81 and Harry kicked 29. Okay. So that's 110. Yeah, hey, I'm with you. I think you're right. That's a pretty good return from Blake Acres, 10 goals. That's solid from Doc. This is the one that's got to really step it up next year. Sam Walsh, he kicked 2 goals against the D's in the semi. He can kick a few more goals, I think, too. Durds kicked 11, averages a goal a game. So if he plays 20, kicks 20 potentially. It's interesting. This is the guy, the third goal kicker. Do I think it's worth moving on Harry for lots of picks and going for another more traditional half forward like Hipwood? I don't. I don't. I think Harry is just clearly part of what we do and who we are. And I think he had a down year by his own standards, kicking 29 goals. Got injured in a patch there, lost complete confidence in himself, which a lot of the team did. I just think, why trade him for picks when we're in the window now? Like, we can win the premiership next year, I believe. So I don't think trading Harry is a move. Corey Durden, don't think he'll get a game next year. Not ready or not good enough yet. Yeah, I think they like what he can bring. I think he needs to be a bit more consistent, but I think having him on the list is a tick for us. Jack Martin, 30 goals. I think that's fair and reasonable. Jack Martin to kick 30 goals, get himself fit and firing, and then we become a completely different team. Yep. Yeah, Harry and Hipwood is not the right the comparison at all. You would move on for a more reliable forward that can be trusted to kick goals. You mean instead of Harry? If so, who's that more reliable forward, Josh? Yeah, Brandon, I'm with you on this. 81 goals is a fucking mighty effort. Mighty effort. Really disappointed with the narrative around Charlie. I mean, I'm not surprised what they're trying to talk about with Charlie. They're trying to pick at something, but I think what he's come back from and where he is right now from where he was, remarkable. Harry, you say Jeremy Cameron. Well, okay, let's talk about what's actually possible. So do you really think Geelong are just going to depart with Jeremy Cameron? Let's think about it. You want to get rid of Harry to get Jeremy? I don't think it would happen. Harry's part of our forward structure. Why trade a key centre half forward for another forward? It's not like they grow on trees. Exactly. How many 200 plus centimeters players that can do what Harry does are there in the league? There are not many. Plowman is done. Announced his retirement. This is a good effort. Matt Owies, 27 goals for the year from 18 games. I think that is a bit of a pleasant surprise. I don't think many of us thought Owies would finish the year like that. And that does lend me to think maybe he could have played in the prelim, but it's all easy to say right now. We lost a little bit from Lewis Young this year from last year, no doubt. These are the kids. Let's go up a bit. Sorry. These are the kids here. So Philp, this is a half forward type. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it too early to call it for him? He's 21. He just turned 21. Turns 22 next year. Do you stick around with it, or do you say we could go and get a player in the draft like him? I don't know what the answer is. I really haven't seen any of him. Wow, it played 17 games. Yeah. Like I said, I think we need a replacement here. Unless somebody else steps up, if that's Dow or if that's Jack Carroll. Honey is another one. He's 20. He's about to turn 22. So he'll be 22 next season. Chincotta. This is a huge story for us. 19 games into a mature age player. Yeah. Owies, Murkov, Hudson O'Keefe, Cottrell. Okay. That's where we're at. This is the list. There's not a lot of changes that I really feel like we can make. I feel like the majority of well, let's go back one sec. Let's go the team that played in the prelim. And let's have a look at where it all ended for a sec and where it could actually improve, right? So I think the first one off the bat for me, I don't know if it's Chincotta, as in I think Chincotta and Boyd replaced Zach Williams. So I think you put imagine Zach Williams' name right there. Wiedering, Marchbank, Sard, McGovern, Williams, Newman. That's a piss take. That's an absolute piss take right there. I think that locks in that back line. And then you could even still be playing Chincotta, or you could say Williams and Brody Kemp, potentially. What do you guys think? Oh, Josh, I see what you mean. I just think, yeah, no, I see what you mean. But Harry's had one, I would say this is his first down year since coming into the league. So he's got to figure it out. So yeah, Marchbank out, Williams in. Chills, I was using, hang on, tell you now. Draft Guru. All right, sorry, back here. Ugh, peak life right here. Peak life. Let's go to the lineups. So Zach Williams, Brody Kemp potentially. I would say this is fine. I think this is where we could potentially improve. Fogarty was good. I like what he did, but I think there could be a piece that replaces him there, kicks more goals potentially. Yeah. I think we're at that situation where if you look back 2017, when we like put the new group together, Marchbank and Wiedering were, the one like the pillars, the key defenders. Last year it was Lewis Young, and I think this year we saw that Marchbank can be that player if he can stay fit. Pitto, De Koning, and Harry in the team. The issue with it is if they're not kicking goals, if De Koning's not hitting the scoreboard, it hurts. It hurts having them both in there. That's how I see it. What do I think about Doc playing in the forward line? They play around his position. Yeah, I mean, they played him a little bit everywhere. I'm not sure if they played him in that forward line because of the shoulder. He hit the scoreboard, so he did his job. I'm just not sure. Motlop, Chera, De Koning, Chincotta. Mate, there's not a lot of changes to be made. Good question. I'll open it up to the floor. I think Young just went through a slump, and I think his foot skills and confidence dipped. But what I think about Young is that he can give us some flexibility in the ruck. Like if Young was chopping out in the ruck, because he did it at the Dogs, if he was chopping out in the ruck, then you don't have to play Pitto and De Koning in certain times. But I just think Young fell down the pecking order. I think Marchbank took his spot. What do you guys think? So, Josh, you think he was a great mark, too slow with decision making? McGovern before Young. No, but see, I don't. I think it's Young, in my view anyway. I think it's Young or Marchbank. I think it's Wiedering and Marchbank is like your pillars because it was Wiedering and Young, and then McGovern's your third, your intercept player. Then you bring in Kemp as well. It's so hard. Wasn't there some tension between him and Wieders? There were reports of tension, but I don't know the actual details of it. Young has no confidence, moves the ball a little slow, makes dumb decisions too many times. Wiedering was a little jealous of how Young took charge of the backline when he was out with injury, wouldn't play with him once back. Young loses that battle. Yeah. I think Wiedering is definitely the one that, he's the anchor back there. Imagine Paddy Dow in for Ed Kerno's spot after a full year of games to Dow. Yeah, I've got a feeling he wants to just do it the hard way and stick around. I don't think he's unhappy. I don't think he's devastated. I mean, obviously he wants to be playing, but you also want to earn a game in a good side. Like, yeah, go play for North. Go play 18 games for North. But like, for what, 6 wins? Do you really want to be a part of that? So I'm with you, Millsy. Yeah, Wiedering and Marchbank. And they always did work well off each other. Even back in 2016, 2017, they did. Jack Silvani. Well, this is the team that played in the prelim. Where does Jack Silvani fit if he was to play? I feel like if it's anywhere, it would be for one of the ruckmen, personally. Or you put him as the sub, true. Yeah. Yeah, John, I'm with you. Give a full preseason to Marchbank, and we're roaring, mate. Do North look at Young as a replacement ruck forward now that Goldie just about out the door? I don't know if Young has played much in the forward line. I don't know. I don't know if that's the move for them. No, you were about to say no. Pito and TDK and JSOS take turns. Yeah, I feel like it works only for certain teams. Like I think when we play Melbourne and Max Gawn, you want Pito in there just to throw his weight around. And even when we play the big bruising types like Briggs, Bruce, when he's playing, that's where I think Pito is so important on the list. But let's also not forget, I think Pito he was injured and he was hobbling. There's that. So I wonder if that's going to actually be a factor next year and he gets a little bit more mobility and more confidence in his body, starts taking some marks. Yeah, Sean Darcy for sure. And then, yeah, I think the underrated player of the game was this bloke here. He just took the piss, didn't he? So, anyway. Anyway, that's us. We'll do one more little game, do a little higher lower, and then we'll get your tips for the granny, and then we'll move on. So, categories. Who kicked the most goals? John Coleman. Easy. Oh no. Okay. Bernie Quinlan, John Coleman. Bernie Quinlan played for nearly 20 years. John Holden, are you still around? Coleman again? Quinlan. Yeah. That's definitely Bernie. Gale or Dacos? Sorry, Dacos. Gale or Davis? What's the move? I'm pretty sure this is Brendan Gale. Oh, no. Maybe he was a ruck forward. It was a ruck forward. Davis. Oh. Then he was a ruck. All right. Oh, great call. I would have gone Gale. Jason Heatley. He looks like a raggedy defender to me. Long sleeves, gloves. I'm going to guess Gale, but that's not a lot of goals. He did play longer. Heatley was a forward. Okay. Oof. All right. Let's go. Damn it. That's that. That's us for today, mate. That was fun. Anyway. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, before we go, let's do some grand final tips. So let's start with first goal scorer. Who you got? Who have you got? Predictions. Yeah. First goal scorer, Norm Smith. And then we'll go with winner and margin. First goal scorer for me. Oh, can you imagine Guinea kicking the first goal? Getting the Collingwood faithful up and about. First goal scorer. I will go with Jordan De Goey. I'll go with Jordan De Goey. Yeah, Maz, we're on the same page. Love it. You got Jamie Elliott, Bobby Hill, De Goey, Cameron, De Goey, Lions by 18 points, Dunkley for Norm. Yep. Hipwood. Okay. Norm Smith. I think I'm also going to go De Goey. I think so. I feel like he's going to kick a couple of goals and have his 25 or so. I saw the quote that he put out about doing everything possible. It's interesting. They're talking about 2018 like it still lingers for them, and it would, because you can never guarantee you're going to get back to a grand final. So I'm curious about that. Norm Smith, who we got? Lachie Neale, Charlie Cameron, Danaher, not bad. Cam Rayner. What would he need to do to win a Norm Smith? Clearly kick a couple of goals, have a bit of the ball. He is one of those players that when he plays well, he stands out a lot. So don't mind that. Charlie Cameron. Lions by 9 points to go in Norm Smith, just like Buckley in 02. Oh, yeah. I like it. Zach Bailey. Don't mind him for a first goal as well. Could be a Norm Smith day. Plays well at the G. Zorko. Loves playing Collingwood. Dane Zorko. Okay. And who's your final tip? Who you got? I'm going to go with... Who's winning the granny? What makes the most sense? What makes the most sense? What makes the most sense? Collingwood have been the best team in 2023. Brisbane have been the better team over the course of the last 5 years. Maybe. Collingwood did dip for 1 year, then they came back up. But Brisbane have been consistently there. What makes the most sense? I think, I don't know why. I sense the journey of the Lions. This is like the journey of the Lions to get here rings true in my head. And Collingwood's forward line, like there's a few question marks around that forward line setup, but it is grand final day, so anything can happen. I will tip the Lions by 9. I think someone else did that. Yeah, Peter V. With you. Collingwood will have issues keeping the Lions below 10 goals. Brisbane by 25. McCluggage for Norm Smith. I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Nine goals. Imagine. I can see someone like Hipwood or Danaher kicking 4 or 5. Don't know why. They don't put fear in my eyes, but I can just see that happening too. So I don't know. Does the Heat make it a high-scoring game? Oh, good question. I don't know. All right. That's us. That's been Grand Final Eve. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll do more of these streams. Um, we've got a long off season to do a lot more of these streams. But anyway, have a great day. Enjoy the public holiday. Oh, also, come down to Icon Park, 4 p.m. I'm going to be there. Go watch the girls, the W. See how they're going. Played very well last week. Played against a more seasoned Richmond team and lost. I'm going to be down there at Icon Park, 4 p.m. Just something to do, really. Anyway, take it easy. Go Blues.